All right, so here's another Cheap Hammer battle report. It's going to be the same as last time, so it's going to be Vampire Counts against the Empire. Let's run down the lists to start up to go a little bit faster. So on his side, he has a unit of it's from right to left. He has two mortars, if I'm not mistaken, five archers in front of them, then a unit of, I think it was more archers as a detachment to his main Death Star, in which he has his retinue, which include a captain, a wizard, a warrior priest to give them the prayers. There was a warrior priest of Sigmar, battle standard bearer, captain, probably the Gryphon banner, and I think it was a witch hunter as well next to it, and that's I think he was using the Luminarch of Hish as a Hellblaster volley gun. Next to it, another Hellblaster volley gun, some Empire Engineers, and another cannon, and five archers. On my side of the list, a big block of ghouls, and on the other side, a big block of skeletons with a lot of vampire thralls. One is battle standard bearer and a level 4 necromancer in between the ghouls and the skeletons with the I think it's a rope that makes him ethereal. And on the other side, just 20 zombies just to fill up some extra units. So on the next picture, everything advances. I think on my list of thralls this time, I didn't went for the Doom Bolt strategy. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I don't remember, but I went for extra attacks, no heavy weapons, and try to close the gap as fast as possible with the extra with the reserve move that you can get from the banner and the reserve move that the ghouls have already by themselves. So trying to close the gap as soon as possible. The battle was King of the Hill, as it can be understood by the hill that is in the middle. But as I mentioned before, like this objectives really don't matter much and they don't make much of a difference. So we just go for just the regular stuff. Anyway, so I think it shoot a couple of Doom Bolts against these units. I'm not sure. I think I took a couple of archers on the right side. But for the rest, I'm just like casting some Doom Balls or casting a Fireball, but not much going on, just like, oh yeah, I think I remember now. It's just like, yeah, because I blocked my line of vision because of the hill, because I couldn't advance much, but I advanced and I did, and first you gotta unload all your shots and then you can make your reserve move. So I blocked myself over there, but some of them fortunately could target some of the units that were around, like the archers with the 24 inches range, so I could unleash some doom bolts into his units. On the next picture, let's see. On the next picture, here's another view of the same thing, but from a different perspective. So it's just like advancing into it. I know that eventually when I move through the hill, I'm going to have to pass a dangerous terrain check. And yeah, you lose units with that, but that's just part of the battle, and that's what you gotta do. The next picture, yeah, my unit remained there, and I'm just taking some. I think I took some shots from his war machines. I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, there was a unit of 5 archers that I disappeared with on Doombolt. I took a couple of shots at his other unit of archers, wiping some of them out, and the reserve. And I think he had another unit of archers, which I was killing, but not much significant damage whatsoever. So just it's just an overview, another picture of what was happening. I think he kept in his turn. He just unleashed some of his shots against my units, but I cannot see the death toll yet. So probably it's going to be on the next picture. But so far, let's see. On the next picture, of course, with the reserve move, my unit just climbed on top of the hill and took the necessary wounds and everything. And as you can see, the main unit is divided because of the inclination of the hill. It's better to just keep some of the guys behind, otherwise they're gonna fall. But the line that it's in the front, it's pretty much the positioning where it is, where it has to be. So that's for the front line. On his side, I don't see much movement. This was pretty much just on my first turn. So no retaliation so far. The only ones that I get is just from the dangerous terrain check, of course. And the next picture, let's see. So he's not moving much. It's just he just remains there because, of course, he wants to unleash his war machines against my units. I forgot to mention that behind his big Death Star there are two Hellstorm rocket batteries, which the useful part of them is that they don't really need a line of sight to start causing damage. And you will see it in the next picture. Here it is. The death toll is insane. He unleashed so much fire upon my main unit, but I still have some skeletons to hold me. And now that I remember, I think I used, I think I had some, not Doom Bolts with all of my units, but what I had is I had Invocation of Nehek. I think it's Disciple of the Black Arts. I don't remember what vampiric power with all my trolls to just throw in the leadership test and see how many can I just bring back so I can just keep the buffer some, because I know that I'm going to go against the Empire, so I'm going to suffer casualties, and those casualties are just going to be insane, you know. So that I have to have something to back up my main unit, so to be able to get with my vampires as fast as possible to the front and just engage them in combat. Now the issue here is that of course, there's some strategies came later on, but I'll tell them at the end. But yeah, there's like so much shots from the war machines are just insane, alongside with the fireball, just a bunch of things. So it's crazy to receive so much damage. And plus the shots of the archers, so most of the skeletons have been killed. And yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, let's see for the next turn what happens. Let's see. So in the next turn, the main unit is dwindling fast, but at least I'm on his face. So what happened is like I managed to be on side, or to have him in front of my vampire counts. And now that I remember, I used the vampiric power plus the wizard level one to have the doom bolts as well, to have something to just you know, throw at him while I'm getting there, you know, just to be able to get that. So I throw some doom bolts at his main unit and I kill a couple of them, so I'm like making them weaker. The ghouls are getting there because his main focus is to kill my main unit, which is almost destroyed, but I still got some skeletons, so I can fight back, or I have some extra wounds to just like hold on before I get to the combat, which is going to be in the next picture. Shots coming into my unit again, and of course I'm losing so much skeletons. But I'm close I am close to getting into melee, and that's exactly what I want, because my configuration was mostly just to get to combat as fast as possible and just unleash all the attacks from the vampires. I gave them an extra weapon, and at the same time I made sure with a power scroll that I just gave them the frenzy and the hatred upgrade with my level 4 necromancer. So that was really important that happened. The next picture, let's see. So I get to all my my charges. So my ghouls charge into the war machines. I think he put a master engineer in front just to take the charge and then overrun, but not get, don't start killing the war machines. I think he took with his cannon a grape shot, but it didn't cause so much damage. On the other side, well, his war machines are gonna be there, but they're not going to be able to do any damage unless it's just against the zombies, but that's just a chaff unit. This doesn't make any difference. Zombies are just like, maybe you can take a flank, or you can just disturb somebody, or take an objective, or contest an objective, but they're really not that interesting to use. Anyway, so yeah, I get to the charges and then I issue some challenges against his heroes, which he's not contesting. I think he wanted to challenge. He wanted to wait for him to be able to issue a challenge and to contest it with my with his with one of his heroes that has the Mails of Hellstrom, just to be able to unleash the attack that does like a D6 strength 10 AP -5 wounds. But of course, I mean, like I would just use the champion of the unit and just throw in as a sacrificial guy and just enable the weapon, because of course you throw your best character to go in a challenge like that. There's a big risk of it getting completely murdered by the Mace of Hellstrom, so that's not a good option. And besides, my general is my necromancer, and he's like ethereal. So unless he has some magical ballistic weapon, which I know that they don't, you can't really kill my necromancer. I'm just gonna keep him alive, just boost my units with him. Anyway, so just everything is getting into combat. His army, it doesn't look good for his empire. In the next picture, I cause massive wounds against his weapons. Like I am killing. Of course I kill the master engineer. I run into his war machines. I took so many wounds from the his first unit and killed some of the heroes also. Of course, the death toll of my skeletons is big, but that doesn't matter because it's about killing his Death Star, and that would secure completely my victory. Let's see the next picture. Yeah, on the next picture, closing the gap. It's pretty much just the charge of all the ghouls against the war machines, and the vampire counts just slowly destroying his unit of spearmen and his heroes in the process. I think that was, and yeah, that was the last picture. So it's victory for the vampire counts. What's here is interesting, and I'm going to share a strategy that I figured out that it could work against the Empire. Now, the big issue is just like, for example, here's the thing: is like if you're facing mortars or you're facing units like that, and you're gonna use a strategy, just try to get into combat with a big Death Star. You have to be able to take care of the Death Star in some way. So the best strategy that I formulate is just taking advantage of the situation that the war machines from the Empire, most of them need line of sight. So you need something to block line of sight in order to be able to protect the main unit from enemy fire, and so that you can just substantially just get into combat or get them as fast as possible with the reserve move into combat without suffering much wounds. Now, if he puts like that, there could be a counter strategy to it, and this is where the Hellstone rocket battery shines, even though that is one of the worst weapons in the game. But if you put like, I don't know, 3 of them, then you don't need line of sight. You can just keep shooting them at the main unit, trying to chip as much wounds as it can. But the strategy that I find out to block the sight of the enemies, you can use the spirit hosts. How would that works? Like, okay, so you put some spirit hosts maybe in the corner of that big block, so that you can block all the line of sight of any war machine that is trying to target your main unit. So you just advance your unit and you put the spirit host a little bit further, so you have that ethereal screen in front of it. It blocks the line of sight and it cannot be targeted. Why? Because it's an ethereal unit, so it's not going to cause any damage. I'm not really sure if you can target it and then just wait for the cannonball to bounce. Perhaps you can use that strategy. But the cannons are mostly good. When it comes to blocks, it's the grape shot, and when it comes to monsters. But against like big blocks of units with just the cannonball, it doesn't really do the trick, and it's just too much points for just like a couple of wounds that you're gonna cause to it. So I think it's better to stick to the mortars, because that's what you want. You want to eliminate as many multiple wound. Not multiple, but multiple skeleton units as quick as possible. So you block the line of sight with the spirit host. I think you get an advantage. And here's where you can use probably maybe, I think it was on illusion magic, that you can cast a spell. I think you can cast a spell
that it gives you a protection, and it blocks all line of sight. So you can use that vortex as well to cast the spell over there and just to hold them. So you can create these gaps or these places in which he has no line of sight, and you can just use that to your advantage. Just push your unit as fast as possible and get it into combat really quick. But that's it. I mean, like victory for the vampire accounts this time was a very, very, very good. Although it had its cracks, we have to we have to make sure that we don't get this amount of skeleton losses in the battlefield. We have to be able to curb it with some strategy and with some possible strategies that could work. But as a victory for the vampire counts, we hope you like this battle report, and we'll see you on the next one. Sorry.